Now, a good man come into your life here now. And here's another problem that I don't understand about women. Some women, too many women, will run over a good man trying to get to some sucker with gangster in him.
Mm-hmm.
What is that mindset that causes a woman not to be able to even appreciate, in too many cases, a good man when they see one?
It goes back to their self-worth. And many times, I'm going to say a great man because I've been blessed with a great man.
Amen. I can see that.
I'm trying to tell you. We look at what meets the eye instead of saying, everything that glistens is not gold, but we owe it to ourselves to get it appraised. I went out and did my own appraisal on this man. We oftentimes joke about it now. He says, as you were checking me out, I was checking you out, but I didn't want the man that every woman was gravitating towards. It's kind of like food. When you come back off of book tour, you don't want that tainted food that was left there. You want something fresh that's not left on the shelf. That's the way I look at my man. I wanted a fresh approach. When I saw all of the other men that were in his genre, all the women were catering to him, I said, it's something to this man. This is a quiet giant. And I've not been disappointed. I have not been dismayed. It's been hotty, hotty, hotty ho. Because he came with a persona. He didn't want anybody to get into his head. But I figured if anybody could or would, it had to be me. Because I like an exclusive something.
Well, you go, girl.
Boy, do I have to follow that? But no, go ahead.
Yeah, because we got to deal with the expectation. It takes a certain kind of patience, understanding, reasoning to be able to do those things and to conduct yourself in a way that this woman can feel free to doubt. She can feel free to challenge. She can feel free to assume really that you're going to be just like the rest of them were, until she sensed that deep, true love in you. How did you help her to understand that you was different and that you was worthy and that you truly loved her?
It was not easy. First of all, it was not easy because Faye had gone through 2 difficult relationships, and I'll say challenging, just to say at best. And when we met, at first it was like, well, now, hey, I don't need the drama, okay? I don't need the women, because I don't need that. But as I began to see her real self and not her shell, I saw that she was a very, very caring person. I was fortunate in this respect. My father, bless his soul, who was my main man, as I call him, lived to the ripe age of 84. He and my mother had been married over 60 years.
Gee, that's a blessing within itself.
It really is. He was a great example for me. I never saw him hit her, touch her, abuse her. If they would argue, he would leave. He showed me how to treat a woman. So I felt very confident going in that, a man's place. Let me back up. When you really look at the way that God planned it, and that's some of our problems, we've gotten away from the way he planned it. And I don't want to talk about the white man, because a lot of white men are in worse shape than we are. But I want to talk about the system. The system that brought us over here to divide and conquer us. It brought us over here to make us dependent, to make us slaves mentally, physically, and emotionally. So what happened is that every time a black man does something that is good, it's not aired. But let you go out and rob somebody or kill somebody, and it is, okay? So my father always was the kind of man where, Eric, you take care of yours. You take care of yours. Now, the way that God meant it to be is that you have children. The children depend on the parents. The mother and the child depends on the father. To be a good father, you have to be a good follower of a higher source, which is God.
Amen.
If you lean to your own understanding, you're destined to go astray. And everybody depends on us, but as a real man, you have only God to depend on. Now I say only God is because that's relative. Only God could be something small or it could be something large. If it is large and if it is a part of your life, and if you can make that the ultimate in your life and give up self, it's still not easy, but it can be accomplished. One of the things that I did was that so many times Faye would say, well, this guy did this, or I knew she was judging me compared to what someone else does. And it would tick me off. And since I'm on camera, I won't tell you what I would say in the street, but you know, I wasn't real happy about that at all. And I would bring it to her attention, but I knew I'd have to be patient and loving because this was an investment I made. And I was going to do everything in my power to make this investment a good investment and to make sure that we vibe. So when she would say that, I say, poor thing, she just doesn't understand. So Father, let me go in my corner and talk to you. And then when I go back and talk to her, then I need to talk to her right. I need to be right because I say often I go to bed with my wife, but I go to sleep with me, all right? Now, one of the other ways I did it was this. I'll set God on her in a minute. If she's acting emotional or itchy with the bee in front of it or something, I don't have a problem saying, is that God-like? Is that what God would have you do? Do you feel good acting like this before God? But by that, I'm putting myself in check because I know she'll flip the script whenever she gets the chance. So I have to come proper to sick God on her because I don't want her sicking God on me.